I swore I'd never date a coworker. I'd seen too many office romances end in disaster. Then I met him. We kept it quiet for months, until HR asked us to disclose our relationship. What happened next changed everything. Hi guys. I always told myself I would never date someone I worked with. Ever. It was a hard rule, unbreakable. No exceptions. I have seen too many messy office relationships implode. Friends who broke up and still had to share a cubicle wall. Colleagues who had to watch their ex flirt with someone new in the break room while pretending they were fine sipping cold coffee. I told myself I would never put myself in that position. No way, no how. So when I started my new job a year ago and met Aaron, 31M, I had that rule locked in. Aaron and I are on the same team, adjacent roles. Not direct reports, but definitely in each other's orbit every day. From the start, I thought he was cute. Of course I did. Tall, warm smile, the kind of laugh that feels like an inside joke even when you do not know the punchline. But I told myself it was just workplace chemistry, that it did not mean anything, that it was not worth risking drama or awkwardness down the line, and for a while it was fine. We were polite, professional, friendly but distant. Then we started getting assigned to the same projects. Long hours in conference rooms, late nights troubleshooting issues together, quick coffee runs between back-to-back meetings, and he was impossible not to like, thoughtful, calm under pressure. Funny in that dry, blink-and-you-miss-it way I adore. He never flirted, never crossed lines, just a steady, kind presence. The kind of person you find yourself leaning toward without even realizing it. We started grabbing lunch together sometimes. Coffee runs became a regular thing. The banter was easy. He always waited for everyone else to get their food first in meetings. Always remembered how I take my tea. Always backed me up in meetings when certain people talked over me. Little things, small, quiet signs that he paid attention. At some point, I realized I was looking forward to Mondays just to see him. Still, I said nothing. I clutched my no office romance rule like a shield. I told myself it was not worth the risk, not worth the potential fallout, not worth becoming a cautionary tale. Then, 3 months ago, he asked me if I wanted to get dinner sometime. Just us. He said it carefully, respectfully, almost nervously. Even added, no pressure at all if it is not something you are comfortable with. My stomach flipped. I asked for a day to think, not because I did not want to say yes, but because I was terrified. Terrified of breaking my own rule, terrified of what it could mean if it went wrong, terrified of what it could mean if it went right. In the end, I said yes. That first dinner turned into a 5-hour conversation. We laughed until we cried, opened up about everything, admitted we had been crushing on each other for months. He told me he was just waiting to be sure I would not feel weird or trapped, waiting to be sure it was worth it. It is. We have been dating ever since. Quietly at first, not because we were ashamed, because we wanted to be sure it was real before we dragged the whole office into it. And it is real. It is more real than anything I have ever known. He is the most emotionally intelligent man I have ever dated. He is steady, not performative. There is no drama, no games, no office gossip, or at least none that we have heard. We keep it professional at work. Friendly, but no lingering glances. No secret smiles across the conference table. All the affection stays outside, and it feels good. It feels healthy. It feels like I finally found something worth risking the fear for, but now I am at a crossroads. Our 1-year work anniversary is coming up, and HR is asking everyone to update their disclosure forms if there are any interpersonal relationships happening at work. Aaron wants to disclose, officially, just to be transparent, just to avoid any potential awkwardness or conflicts down the line, and I am scared. Not because I doubt him, not because I think we cannot handle it, but because that old fear is still sitting in my chest like a stone. What if something goes wrong? What if this beautiful thing blows up and I have to watch him from across the office pretending it does not hurt? What if I lose both the best relationship I have ever had and the career I worked so hard to build? Have any of you had a workplace relationship that did not end in disaster? Can it really work? Can two people fall in love at work and not have it destroy everything else? Part of me knows that fear should not be the thing driving my decisions. Part of me knows that Aaron is not a risk, he is a choice. A good one, a careful one, a steady, thoughtful one. Maybe it is time to stop holding onto a rule I made when I was scared. Maybe it is time to take the leap. To stop letting fear have the final say. To believe that maybe, just maybe, this time, love is worth it. Thanks for listening. Any advice, stories, or even cautionary tales are welcome. I could really use some perspective. Hi. I wanted to come back with an update, especially after so many of you encouraged me to stop letting fear lead. Thank you, seriously. It helped more than I can explain. After a lot of late-night talks, a few cups of strong coffee, and a lot of deep breaths, Aaron and I decided to do it. We filled out the HR disclosure form together. It was honestly super chill, way less dramatic than my anxious brain had built it up to be. We sat in the tiny HR office, side by side. The HR manager, who was warm and professional, asked a few basic logistical questions. Were we in a reporting relationship? No. Did we work directly under or over each other? No. Was there any risk of favoritism or conflict of interest? Again, no. She thanked us for being transparent. Said she appreciated that we handled it respectfully. Told us it would just be filed quietly unless any formal issues ever arose, which, given our different reporting lines and roles, seemed highly unlikely. And that was it. No dramatic company-wide email. No awkward announcement over lunch. No stern lectures about professionalism, just filed away and done. We walked out of that meeting, looked at each other, and both let out the biggest, most ridiculous laugh. Because the weirdest part? It made me feel relieved. Like I had been carrying around this massive weight I did not even fully realize was there. All that anxiety, all that dread, waiting for some invisible shoe to drop. And it never did. Because there was never a shoe, just my own fear whispering that love only works in secret. That good things only survive if you hide them. And it turns out, that was wrong. We are still low-key at work. No hand-holding at the water cooler. No cringy lingering looks across the open office. Just us, doing our jobs, keeping it professional. But now we can eat lunch together without feeling weird about it. We can walk into a meeting after grabbing coffee and not feel like everyone is secretly judging us. A few coworkers who had probably guessed already just smiled and said, "Finally." One of my teammates even joked, "About time. You two have been the world's worst-kept secret." And it did not feel embarrassing. It felt nice, warm, normal, because we did not make it weird. We kept it professional. We respected the space we work in. And that seems to have made all the difference. Outside of work, things are honestly amazing, better than I even let myself hope for. He makes Sunday pancakes blueberry if he is feeling fancy. I have met his sister, who hugged me like we had known each other for years. We have started talking about what living together might look like, maybe later this year if things keep going the way they are. And somehow, despite all my initial fear, it feels easy. It feels right. I still have little flashes of panic sometimes. Little moments where my brain whispers, "This is too good to last." But they are quieter now, easier to talk back to, easier to drown out with laughter and late-night conversations, and the quiet, steady way Aaron always shows up. I cannot believe I almost let a self-imposed rule stop me from something this good. A rule built on fear, built on other people's mistakes, built on the idea that protecting yourself means never taking a chance. But love. Love is a risk, always. It is a risk to hope, a risk to trust, a risk to open your heart and say, "Here, take this, please be careful." And sometimes it does not work. Sometimes you get hurt. But sometimes, if you are lucky, you find someone who holds it gently, who shows up not with fireworks but with pancakes and tea just the way you like it, who says, "I am here, not perfectly, but for real." And that is worth breaking a few old rules for. Thanks again, for the encouragement, for the reality checks, for reminding me that fear does not get to have the final say. Not this time. I will update again if anything changes. But for now, I am just happy and letting myself be. Hi. I guess this is the perfect full circle moment, because we did it. Aaron and I signed a lease together, we moved in last weekend, It was chaotic, it was exhausting. It was full of terrible IKEA instructions, and one very memorable argument over whether a certain shelf was straight enough or good enough. But it already feels like home. He set up a tea drawer just for me. All my favorites lined up in neat little rows. I rearranged the spice rack the way he likes, alphabetically, which I still think is a little obsessive, but somehow it made me smile to do it. We bickered over shelf heights, over where to put the extra towels, over how many throw pillows is too many. And we laughed through every part of it. The kind of laughter that feels easy. The kind that softens the sharp edges of change and makes new walls feel familiar. Work has not changed much. People know we are a couple now, it is not a secret, but we are still all business during office hours. Professional, respectful. No cutesy inside jokes in meetings. No unnecessary lingering after team huddles. Just two people who happen to love each other and who also happen to be good at keeping their personal life separate from their work life. Last week, our manager pulled us aside. Said, "You two set a really good example of professionalism, FYI." Which, okay, was kind of embarrassing. I think I turned bright red. Aaron just chuckled and said, "We try." But honestly, it felt good. It felt like proof that we had navigated this the right way. I know not every office relationship works out. I know the horror stories, the whispered gossip, the messy breakups, the drama that bleeds into team meetings and ruins good careers. I was terrified of becoming one of those stories. Terrified of being the girl who made a reckless mistake and paid for it twice, once with her heart and once with her job. But Aaron never made me feel like a risk. He made me feel like a choice. A deliberate, patient, kind choice. He made loving him feel like the most natural thing in the world, not a reckless leap into the unknown, but a careful step forward together. There were moments I almost let fear win. Moments where I almost clung to my old rules. Moments where I almost said no to something that has turned out to be the best yes of my life. And now I wake up to the smell of coffee brewing and the sound of Aaron humming in the kitchen. Now I come home to someone who remembers how I like my tea and who smiles at me like he still cannot believe I said yes. Now I fall asleep next to someone who never once made me feel like a backup plan or a risk he was grudgingly taking. Someone who chose me, and who lets me choose him over and over without fear. So yeah, I broke my own rule, the one I clung to so tightly for so long, the one I thought was keeping me safe. And I would break it again in a heartbeat. Because sometimes the rules you make when you are scared are the ones you most need to outgrow. Sometimes love does not fit inside the neat little boxes you built for yourself. Sometimes it shows up across a conference table, carrying a cup of tea just the way you like it, and makes you realize that maybe, just maybe, it is worth rewriting the story you thought you were supposed to live. I do not know what the future holds. I know nothing is guaranteed. But right now I am happy. Right now I am home. And right now I am so grateful that I said yes. Thank you for cheering me on. For reminding me that fear is not the same thing as wisdom. For giving me the courage to believe that sometimes good things are worth the risk. Take care. And if you are ever standing at the edge of something that scares you but also makes your heart skip, maybe take the leap. It just might be worth it. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love you all.